Today I'm drinking berry rooibos. It's gone a bit cold. This is really good tea. I don't know why I just put Vaseline on, it just wipes it off. Let's see. My line of work and a kind of growing interest leads me to gather a lot of fragrance samples. So I thought I'd go through my favourite fragrances today. I have quite a lot. Oops. There's doubles in there, but samples are a good way to smell good without spending any money. So that's what I do. But I do have a fragrance that I wear. I'll just grab it for you. Do you like my outfit? Fit check. Armani jeans, yes, I'm a road man. Vintage DKNY. Oops. Vintage Hermès. Fragrance that I wear most days in the winter. Amir Al Oud, Intense Oud by Latafa. This is so cheap. I got it because I wanted Margiela replica by the fireplace, and this is a pretty good dupe for it. It's, as my nose has developed, I'm more able to tell what smells cheap and what smells, I'm more able to distinguish notes. And it's not a dead ringer, but it's pretty close, and it costs you can get it for about £10 in the UK. It's very strong eau de parfum. It lacks the smokiness of by the fireplace. It doesn't have that sort of chestnut smell that makes it by the fireplace. But the dry down is very similar to the dry down of By the Fireplace. I've got By the Fireplace on right now. It's kind of gone. Yeah, the initial spritz is quite alcoholic. It's very sweet. It says intense oud, but very little oud, and I mean it's so cheap that I would expect it not to actually be oud. I mean, but on honestly, you guys, if you're looking for good dupes or good oud, amber, I would describe this more as an amber fragrance. The perfume house is from Dubai. This is from Dubai, I think. Yeah, it's made in the UAE. So cheap, and really good, honestly. I love Arabic fragrances. It smells so good. In the winter, I really like something strong. And I think oud, although this really doesn't smell like oud, Oriental fragrances in general are warm. I think that's what you want in winter. And they're my favourites. And then I also wear, there's barely any of this left, filthy bottle, Isemiake Borom, just classic eau de toilette, fresh, lemony, zesty, sweet but masculine. I've worn this for years. Yeah, it's a pretty good fragrance, it's very cheap, and definitely gives me spring vibes. I have a smaller one that I thought was the same, and it turns out it's not. They have a lot of different versions of Le Dissé. Oh yes, Isemiake Le Dissé Borom. And it's kind of hard to tell the difference between them because the packaging and the names are exactly the same. It's just really annoying. But they all smell pretty good. And they're cheap. So, well, relatively speaking. Better? Yeah. So those are my fragrances that I wear, but I wear samples more than that, to be honest. Oh look, I can put them in front of you. Oh wow! Should I do a role play? Welcome to my fragrance store. I don't actually want to do this because whatever, I don't want to talk about my job. Let's just say it's very similar to that. Or was, I'm not really doing it anymore. I'm just going to pour these all out and then we can do it kind of brand by brand. I'm picking up one that's really strong. Might be Valentino. I wish I had some sample papers, but I don't. I'm just gonna... What shall I use? Tissue? Just use this tissue. It's got chewing gum in. Okay. Let's start with Valentino. I have two here. Born in Roma, Yellow Dream. I've got an empty one. Let's see if it's got anything left. No. Oh! This is a man's fragrance. You know what I mean? This isn't my vibe at all. But it's quite inoffensive. It's very fresh. It's just man fragrance. You know what I mean? Like, it's very giving shower gel, deodorant, just quite zesty and fresh. It's nothing like offensive. It's quite, I think if you mixed it with something, it'd be quite pleasant for the summertime. Very much a summer fragrance. I think that's the only Valentino one I have. I don't know why I got another one. I don't like it that much. It's not my thing. It's quite sporty, bro. Yeah, I mean, as a shower gel, I think this would smell pretty good. Let's see what else I've got. I'm gonna do the ones I basically don't like first. Montblanc Legend Night. This is Eau de Parfum. This is again a really man fragrance I don't think I like. Let me have a smell. I can't really remember what it smells like. There's nothing left. Wait. Well, I haven't really used this, so I don't know how it's empty. I guess it just evaporated. But don't hear me complaining, because I do not like it. Probably kind of a spicy, what they call spicy, but I don't find it that spicy. This Bulgari. Man, this is Wood Essence. This one's pretty good, I think, for a man fragrance. Terrible pump. That's good. Wow, I forgot how good this is. It's very woody. Not woody like oud, but woody like moss. Moss, kind of wet. Fresh. This is an incredible fragrance. Sorry, this is so ugly the way I have this tissue out, but whatever. It's really good. Wood Essence. I'm surprised at this because I thought I didn't like it, but I have a lot, so I forget what they smell like. It's, yeah, I would describe this as a unisex fragrance. I mean, as if fragrances don't have genders. Look, they don't. It's the fucking stupidest thing. Like, get over yourself. But, I mean, considering it says, man, huge letters. I mean, nothing about this is screaming like Bob the Builder, do you know what I mean? Fresh, woody scent, really good. I can't diss this one because I actually did work for them once. Sauvage by Dior. I love Sauvage. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think it's worth being a fucking hipster douchebag about it. There's a reason it's such a big bestseller. And that's because it smells unlike anything else on the market, and it's really good. For me, Sauvage holds special. It actually triggers emotions in me, bizarrely. In Europe, I feel like it was really common. I mean, it's probably common in London too, but I don't really smell it on the streets. So when I was in Europe, I could smell it on the streets, and it makes me feel happy, sad, longing. Sauvage Elixir, I didn't like it. It's way, way, way spicy, like insane. One spray of this, boom, like it stanks, honey. Let me put a bit on my disgusting tissue. I can smell woody essence on there. I think that would, like, they're all evaporated. I literally haven't used this. Is it gone? Are you gone? Like, there's stuff in there and it just won't come out. Nah. I just put it in the bin. That's a no from me, love. Let's see. Any more nasty ones left? This one's fucking. This is the worst one I own. No offense if you wear these, by the way. Gucci guilty. I fucking hate this. Eau de parfum pour homme. Let's give it a spritz, you guys. But just no. If you think that this is attractive to anyone, you're dead wrong, babe. Like, this is not attractive. This smells like Lynx. This smells like a boys' locker room in year 8. It fucking stinks. This smells like I'm gonna get an STI off you in the club. That's what this smells like, honey. Okay, it's not that bad. I think because the woody essence is mixing in. It's just man fragrance. You know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean when I say man fragrance? Do you know what that means? It means Lynx. It means shower gel. It means uninspired. It means thinking that's gonna get you laid. No, sorry. I don't mean to break it to you in a mean way, but it's just not. I think that's all of the shit ones done, but I take back what I said about this. This is pretty good. Let's try this. Azaro Wanted. I don't know. I think I like this, but I'm not really familiar with it, you guys. Quite want my bathroom to smell like this. Do you know what I mean? It's spicy. It's pink. A lot of pink pepper hitting my nose. A lot of pink pepper. It's sweet with the spice. It's pretty good, actually. Eau de toilette. It's very strong. A lot of pepper in the nose. Pretty good. Speaking of spice bomb. Again, this is a pretty, like, ubiquitous. I guess this is a niche fragrance, I suppose, but it's pretty ubiquitous. Eau de parfum. I'd say this is kind of in the similar. It's in the vicinity of Sauvage. More Sauvage Elixir, Eau de parfum. This is good. This is really good. Again, I think this is one of those ones that's quite deserving of its the prestige it has. Just very sexy, date night, spicy, sweet. Yeah. Again, not quite my vibe. Not quite my vibe. I think for me, one of the things that I love about oud is that it really, as a heart note or as a bass note, it really, it's like the bass is like sub-bass in the song. That's the only way I think I can compare it to. It's like it feels like you have a full, there's depth, whereas a lot of these man fragrances are just very sweet, very heady, especially the designer ones, because I get it, it's like putting as much sort of pepper and, you know, patchouli or whatever, and just sweet sugary alcohol as well. I think a lot of that at once bombards you, it overwhelms you, which is the point, you know, especially for date night fragrances. I get it, but with oud, you can combine it with anything in theory, do you know what I mean? Any kind of sweeter note with oud, it really becomes a rounded whole, as opposed to just something. Let's move on to Margiela. I have a lot. We'll do Mutiny first. This is I can't remember off the top of my head, probably a white floral by the looks of it. Female fragrance. I don't think I like this one. That's not bad. Vanilla. It's not too powdery, actually. It's not too powdery. I seem to remember it being quite powdery. But a lot of vanilla. And not spicy vanilla. Sweet, sugary. And a white floral, basically. Pretty good. Replica is obviously the shit that I like. Let's have a look. What have I got? Like an anime character. Speaking of which, do you like my mug for Christmas? Let's take a tea break, babes. We've been working so hard. Stone cold. It's all good though. Oh, did you want some? Corona time. I'm vaccinated, babe. I guess. Better safe than sorry, huh? Let's count how many replicas I have. One. This one looks empty. Doing this video is a good thing for me because it means I can clear out the. Oh, I love this one. Let me actually. One. Jazz Club. Two. By the Fireplace. Three. By the Fireplace. Four. By the Fireplace. Five. Jazz Club. to meditation, this one was a big surprise for me. I love it. 7. Lazy Sunday Morning. I love how evocative the titles are. I think that's beautiful. So, I mean, Margiela is designer, but at the same time it leans into niche categorization, I guess, with the replica line. I think it's wonderful. Oh, what number am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jazz club again. Well, let's start with By the Fireplace. This fragrance is incomparable, and it's amazing that it's an eau de toilette. I mean, it's so strong and unusual. It's very smoky, an amber oriental fragrance, but with a lot of kind of nuttiness to it. Cashew, chestnuts. It just smells like the 70s to me. The implication of leather, but I don't think there's leather in it at all. I don't really get leather. It's quite sweet too. It's very sweet. In the way that, roasted peanuts can be sweet, Not for everyone. None of the replica fragrances are for everyone at all. I don't think any of them are super approachable, really. I think jazz club's probably a crowd pleaser, but I don't know, it's probably my least favourite actually. Oh, no. But yeah, perfect winter fragrance, so warm, so inviting. I just love it. I guess some people might describe it as kind of an old man fragrance. They were old maiden type of shoes. But for me, I adore it, hence why I have literally like 4 bottles of it and a dupe. I take the little, because I don't want to take a full thing out with me, so I take samples with me to places. Let's talk about Jazz Club next. Jazz Club is a cocktail. It just smells like a cocktail, a coconut. What's the cocktail I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's a pina colada basically. But actually I'm getting some tobacco off that today. That's really interesting because I know it has tobacco in it, but I don't read the tobacco on my skin. It's not legible. But on this tissue paper right here, the tobacco is actually really quite prominent. That's so interesting. It smells like a Kilian fragrance. I think I have the Kilian fragrance I'm talking about. It smells like, I think it's Black Phantom, which we'll smell in a minute. Yeah, I mean, ordinarily I just smell the cocktail, I just smell the coconut, sweet. Yeah, wow, the tobacco is really wonderful. Like I said with the oud, I think tobacco is a great note for pulling it all together. I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, Jazz Club is, I think, quite a popular fragrance. Just sweet, crowd pleaser, Lazy Sunday Morning. I think because of the title of this one and the description, I was quite excited to try this. But in reality, it's just a very powdery, floral. That's not my... As far as, those scents go, it's pretty good if you like powdery. But too much powder for me, I don't know, it's almost like baby powder. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty good though. I think Mutiny's nicer. But yeah, I think I was expecting something a little bit different, because I think Lazy Sunday Morning almost, there's an implication of a sexiness to it, the night after. I mean the morning after, you know. But it's actually just very prissy and pretty and fresh, but powdery. So I won't ever get that again. However, speaking of powdery, matcha meditation, so good. I was really surprised at this, because powdery florals are just not my thing, and this is essentially a powdery floral, but the matcha is so... Matcha to me has almost... It has an earthy quality, yeah, a green quality, a dirt quality almost, in the way that green tea does. It has a kind of earthy, dirty taste. I love it. Can you even see matcha meditation? But also matcha, it's very sweet in a kind of almost like white chocolate. I always find it tastes quite like white chocolate in a way, especially if you have it with milk. If you have it with coconut milk, soy milk, cow milk. And I think it really captures that. I really like this one. It's really delicate and gentle, and it smells like matcha, you know. It's not, the matcha isn't subordinate to any of the other notes, even though it is quite powdery and a floral, I guess. But the matcha is really bomb. It makes you feel very clean. Simple and clean is the way that I'm feeling tonight. Try this one. Of the replica line though, I do like Jazz Club for going clubbing, like going out. But By the Fireplace, yeah, that's really my winter fragrance. Or the Amir Al Oud, Intense Oud by Latafa. Let's see. I've got two Kilian fragrances here. Kilian is, if you don't know, it's a niche brand. Kilian is Kilian Hennessy, as in of the Hennessy family. So naturally a lot of the inspiration for Kilian's fragrances is alcohol, is cognac, whiskey, the barrels. Neither of these are too alcohol-y. Having said that, Black Phantom, however, is super... Let's have a spritz. I'm running out of places to fucking do it. Oh, would you like some coffee beans? I don't have any. Actually, you're not supposed to smell coffee beans because they leave they leave a residue on the tip of the nostril. What you actually do to reset your nose, you just smell yourself. You just smell your natural smell. Except my natural smell currently smells like every fragrance under the fucking sun. I would like to spray this one because I think it's really interesting. They say Rihanna wears Good Girl Gone Bad, but I don't know if that's true. This is Black Phantom. Yeah, these I forget what they're called. They're like the darker fragrances. They have a name for it, but it's like a line of about 5 fragrances, I think. But the Kilian fragrances are split into 4 different like things, categorizations. This is inspired by the barrels, the darkness. It's coffee. This is coffee beans. and tobacco, with a slight sweetness to it, almost subtly powdery, but mostly coffee beans, tobacco. But it's sweet. There's like vanilla or something like that in it. Not spicy though, no spice. It's really good. This is really good. This is a wonderful fragrance, so good. I know the notes maybe sound a little curious, but it's one you just have to smell yourself. It's subtle as well, it's very subtle. And then the other Kilian fragrance I have is Straight to Heaven, which I love. Oh, there's barely anything left. It's kind of hard to get the Kilian fragrances. Maybe I'll just Google a description of this one. It does smell good though. Kilian's fragrances are fantastic, really good. They're very expensive though, so I don't want to spray it. Let's have a look. It's described as a woody, spicy fragrance for men. I think this is from the same like category as the Black Phantom, possibly. It describes the main accords as woody, patchouli, rum. It's the alcohol. Weirdly, I didn't get alcohol from Black Phantom today, but definitely coffee. Warm, spicy, powdery's in there too. I think the Kilian fragrances use powder quite attentively, I guess you could say. Set a kind of base. Yeah, Straight to Heaven's really good. The rum definitely adds a sweetness to me. See, I felt it was quite a sweet fragrance from memory, so I assume that's the rum. But wood is considered the kind of central note. Not the central note, but the key note. I have a bunch of Hermès fragrances. I love Hermès. I love it. I love amber, Nargile, I don't know how you say it. It's fucking expensive and you can't get samples of that. But that's my favourite. I love Twilly Ginger. I love a bunch of these that I've got. Twilly Hermès, just classic. Coconut for me. Just really, to me this is Parisian, this is Paris, this is like a mature, bougie, fun. This is what Hermès smells like, you know. It's just fresh, it's just the bomb. It's so good. I got a bunch of these, I've got fucking tons of these and I don't really like it that much. Atelier d'Hermès, earth, like an earth fragrance. I like the branding for these. I guess this is supposed to be their next sort of male fragrance. It's masculine. It's almost bordering on the man smell that I don't like. The Lynx, the shower, the boys' locker room smell, but it's not. I've got the eau de parfum and the eau de toilette. I'm going to spray the eau de toilette. It's good. Oh fuck. It for me it almost has a note of tarmac. I know that sounds really bizarre, but it's actually quite fresh. It smells like fresh tarmac, like a road being laid down, or just a road in the sun, like a really hot, dusty kind of landscape, but it's like there's a stream in the distance. It's actually pretty good, to be honest. Now I'm smelling it like this. Maybe the toilette is better than the parfum. I wonder. Yeah, that's not eau de parfum, it's parfum, pure parfum. I think a lot of men would like this, to be honest. Oh my gosh, like I just said that fragrances don't have fucking genders, whatever. I thought I had more Hermès. I have Eau de Merveille. This one is really good. I got my mum the blue one. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Well, the same, I guess, but it's like a quintessential Hermès fragrance, and it just smells so good on her. It's quite similar to Twilly, really. This one, I want to say it's Orange Blossom. I don't want to spray it because it's barely any of it left. It's kind of hard to get Hermès fragrance samples. De Merveille. Comes in a beautiful bottle. It's orange. A rare fruity scent that's not sweet at all. I would say that's quite true. It's kind of woody, I guess. I think if you put the wood before the sweetness doesn't overwhelm. Does that make sense? If you think about how the notes are layered, the wood has to come first, which it does with this. Yeah, basically a citrusy fragrance. Orange Blossom to me is what I get. Orange. Maybe it's just because of the colour of it. But for me, I get definitely orange, some lemon perhaps. Another really classic Hermès fragrance. I don't know what it is about Hermès fragrances. There's something so clean and sophisticated about them. The way that they you would describe them as sweet, but they aren't, you know. They, like it says, it's a fruity, citrusy scent, but it's not like sweet. It's very curious. Oh, where's the one that I was going to show? One of them's gone missing. Oh no, it's in there. I've got these three left to show. Let's go through them. This one I don't want to spray. Kilian Santal Sky. It's really, really good. See, because for me, other than oud, santal smells like santal wood. Just so autumnal. So autumnal, so fresh. Just like taking a beautiful walk on in a way, it's kind of a New Year fragrance for me as well, because I always find that in January, I guess if you live in the Western Hemisphere, it tends to be quite sunny and bright, and the sky seems enormous and cloudless, and I really like that weather. And this Santal Sky, what a great name for Eau de Parfum by Kilian. This is really good. If you can't afford Tom Ford or whatever, what's it called? Santal 33, is that what it is? Is that Tom Ford? This is much more affordable, I understand. I will definitely be looking into buying this. I really enjoy it. Just classic Santal smell. Fresh, woody I suppose, wet, moist, and just fresh, like a cloudless sky. I love it. So good. This one was a kind of odd one that I got. Atelier, Cologne, Lemon Island. It had this very dramatic copy describing it. And when I first put it on, I thought this is absolutely terrible and repulsive, because to me, it was lemon, but the wet woody smell was soaking wet, as in a wet dog. It actually really smelled like a wet dog to me. But then later on I tried it again and I thought this is actually quite good. So I'll be curious to see how I feel about it today. Wow. No, I can smell it. This fragrance is, what was it called? Lemon Island. It's lemon. Like, they've taken every part of the lemon, they've grated the skin, they've squashed it, they've put the whole fucking thing in, and it is an amazingly natural smell. But underneath the lemon, there's a wet dog smell. It's a tree. I can't think what it is though. It's like a tree that's wet. It's not moss. It just has this slight wet dog that I just can't shake off beneath the lemon. And there is something oddly compelling about it because it's almost animalistic, I guess in the same way I like oud. But that is wet dog to me. Ooh. It's like, it's a sweet scent, but it's like musky animal. I don't know, I guess it's like, there's a coconut in here too. It's definitely an interesting one, and probably very expensive, I would imagine. Like, it smells expensive, does that make sense? Like, it smells like this is good quality shit, you know what I'm saying? It's not for me, babes, not for me. And then lastly, what I've been talking about it all fucking time, this whole bloody video, where's the oud? Well honey, I can't afford it, and they rarely do samples of oud. I mean, my favourite oud is Shams Oud by Memo Paris. I don't know if I said that right. Memo Paris. Shams Oud, I think it's called. There's a bunch of ouds I like. This one is Dolce & Gabbana actually. Sorry, my battery went. Velvet Desert Oud, which is a really nice evocative title, I think. Eau de Parfum. It's one of those annoying ones that comes with one of these fucking stick things. I often layer this. I just put it like that, just behind my neck, on the pulse points, just because it has this little stick thing. So I just use that. Just put it here. Honestly, with all the other fragrances, I can't smell it because this one's really subtle for oud, I find. I don't know if it's just my sample, but like it's have a sniff, babes. Smoky, velvet. I mean, the velvet reads as tobacco almost. Like a tobacco-y alcohol, but maybe it's leather as well. But yeah, it's velvet as in there's a silkiness to it. I find oud tends to have a silkiness to it. If you envision how the scent looks, it's like this. As opposed to like fucking Gucci Guilty, which is just oud is just pristine. It's definitely a designer take on oud, if that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't be out of place at the club, but it's pretty good. And it's very subtle. I don't know, because it's just, it doesn't have any sweet component to it. No sweet component. So it doesn't announce itself too much. Like, yeah. So, put all my fragrances back. I'm gonna put them all. I'm gonna put the brands together. I have so many fucking Hermès ones. What the fuck? These Atelier de Hermès. Like I feel like anime girl. Let me pop these bitches away. Pop. These are the lids for cans of polish. And they fit in with all my other skincare stuff. So yeah. I think I'm gonna do anyone want Gucci Guilty? Do you guys want this? I fucking want it. I feel bad throwing away fragrance though. It's like, I don't know. Margielas together. That one's empty. What is it? Just Club. It's Valentino. I really need to get some more matcha meditation. I'm running very low on it. So good. Jazz Club back in. Mutiny. Let's put the Kilian ones in there. That. These ones in there. The lemon one. Wow, the lemon one really is crazy. Because there's something aquatic to it. Really. Like seaweed almost. No wonder it's called Lemon Island. And also there's a note of sunscreen. You know, the sunscreen smell, which I really like. So kind of like coconut, I suppose. I suppose that's what is usually in the sunscreens. Fragrances that I want to get samples of, Diptyque is up there, and I've worked for them, so it's kind of surprising that I don't have any, but I love Orila, which is like their leather one. It's really good. I like the amber one, I can't remember what it's called. Bohème, I think it's called Benjuan Bohème or something like that. It's one of the more expensive, I mean they're really expensive anyway, but one of the more expensive ones. What else do I like? Diptyque. Does just any, honestly, all their fragrances are good, so I really want to get some samples from there. I wish Chanel did samples, because I actually really like some of their more expensive fragrances. I love Le Lion. It's like one of my favourites. I will spray that if I'm in there. Kind of similar to Bohème actually from Diptyque. Definitely not everyone's taste, very powerful. Thank you for watching. Let me know your favourite fragrances and your favourite notes. The surprise of the day was definitely woody essence. Do you see that? I don't know. Man. Right hand arm. Man. Why does it say like man so big? Isn't that man? It's stupid. And Mr. Bulgari's right hand arm man. And Mr. Bulgari's everything. His best friend, his confidant, his silly rabbit. No.